The people at the very top of their fields, the executives, the entrepreneurs, the leaders who seem unstoppable, aren't just smart, they're not just lucky, and they're definitely not fearless by nature. What sets them apart is this: they know how to negotiate their way forward without letting fear stop them. And here's something worth remembering. Long before there were boardrooms and business deals, one principle of courage has stood the test of time. In Deuteronomy 31:6, it says, "Be strong and courageous. Do not fear or be in dread of them, for it is the Lord your God who goes with you. He will not leave you or forsake you." That truth still applies today. The most powerful negotiators in the world walk into every room with confidence, not because they never feel nerves, but because they know how to push past them. They stand strong, they stay courageous, and they move forward knowing they are not alone. And here's the good news: you can do the same. Negotiation is not just for a select few. It's a skill, a mindset, a step-by-step process that anyone can learn. Today, I'm breaking down the 10 steps top performers use to negotiate their way to the top without fear. And I want you to stay with me until the very end, because step #1, the final one, is the piece that ties everything together. Miss that and the other steps won't matter nearly as much. This is Coach L, and if you're ready to take your negotiation skills and your career to the next level, hit that like button, subscribe, and let's get started. Step 10. Reframe negotiation as opportunity, not conflict. The first mental shift is simple, but powerful. Most people see negotiation as a fight, a showdown where someone wins and someone loses. And if that's the frame, no wonder people feel fear. Who wants a fight every time they walk into a room? Top performers see negotiation differently. They reframe it as an opportunity, a conversation, a chance to align interests and create value. Think about it. When you walk in seeing it as an opportunity, your body relaxes, your voice steadies, the other person feels that calm energy, and the entire dynamic shifts. Fear shrinks the moment you stop seeing negotiation as conflict and start seeing it as collaboration. And this sets the stage for step 9, because once you see it as opportunity, the next move is to prepare so well that fear doesn't stand a chance. Step 9. Do the deep work. Preparation removes fear. Fear thrives on uncertainty. Walk into a negotiation without preparation, and of course you'll feel nervous. You don't know what's coming. Top performers don't do that. They prepare so thoroughly that by the time they walk in, they already know the numbers, the market, the alternatives, and the person sitting across from them. Preparation is confidence in disguise. When you know your facts, when you've rehearsed your talking points, when you've even practiced answering objections in advance, fear has nowhere to live. Think of a lawyer in court. They don't show up winging it. They're armed with evidence, with arguments, with strategy. That's why they speak with authority. Your career deserves the same level of preparation, and once you're armed with it, you'll be ready for step 8, the one that lets you set the tone of the conversation before it even begins. Step 8. Anchor the conversation. Here's a secret most people don't know. In negotiation, whoever sets the first anchor often controls the frame. Anchoring means you're the one who sets the opening terms. Top performers don't sit back and wait. They go first, and they go bold. Why? Because the human brain latches onto the first number or position it hears. Even if the other side pushes back, the anchor pulls the conversation closer to your advantage. For example, if you're negotiating salary and you start higher, research shows the final agreement usually lands closer to your number. Fearful negotiators wait. Fearless negotiators anchor. And once the anchor is set, step 7 comes into play, the art of using silence to your advantage. Step 7. Master silence. Most people fear silence. They rush to fill every pause, to explain, to justify. But top performers, they know silence is a weapon. Say your piece, state your ask, and then stop talking. That pause puts pressure on the other person. It signals confidence. It forces them to respond. And 9 times out of 10, they'll reveal information you can use. Silence feels uncomfortable at first, but it's in those moments that power shifts. Learn to sit in the pause, and fear turns into control. And control is even easier when you know step 6, walking in with alternatives. Step 6, always have alternatives. There's one thing that kills fear faster than anything else, knowing you have options. Top performers never walk into a negotiation desperate. They have what's called a BATNA, a best alternative to a negotiated agreement. If this deal doesn't work out, they know exactly what they'll do instead. another job opportunity, another client, another project. When you know you can walk away, you negotiate without fear. Because the truth is, the person with the best alternatives holds the power. And when you're not clinging to a single outcome, you can move into step 5, telling the story in a way that makes people want to say yes. Step 5, tell the story. Don't just state the facts. Facts are important, but facts alone rarely win. Stories do. Top performers frame their requests inside a narrative. Instead of just saying, I want a raise, they paint the picture. Over the past year, I've led 3 major projects that grew revenue by 20%. That growth opened up opportunities for the team, and now I'm excited to keep building on it with the right support in place. See the difference? One is a demand, the other is a story the other side can believe in. Fear fades when you're not just reciting numbers, but telling a story that resonates. And sometimes that story still gets a no, but top performers don't fear rejection, they use it. That's step 4. Step 4, turn no into leverage. Most people crumble when they hear no. Top performers don't. They understand that no isn't the end, it's information. It tells you where the boundaries are. It gives you clues about what matters most to the other side. No can actually be the start of the real negotiation. The fearless negotiator doesn't hear rejection, they hear data, and they use it to adjust, to probe, to find the yes hidden underneath. And they don't stop there, they stack small wins along the way to build momentum. That's step 3. Step 3, stack confidence through small wins. Big negotiations feel scary, but if you've already stacked smaller wins, you carry that momentum into the room. Top performers practice negotiation in everyday life, asking for a discount, requesting better terms on a contract, even negotiating timelines on projects. Every small win builds confidence, and that confidence compounds when the stakes get higher. By the time they're in the big room, they're not testing these skills for the first time. They've already practiced them dozens of times, and that's why they can play step 2, the long game. Step 2, play the long game. Top performers know negotiation isn't just about this deal, this raise, this project. It's about relationships. They don't burn bridges to win a single battle. They build trust. They create partnerships. They play the long game. Because here's the truth, the real power in negotiation comes from being someone people want to deal with again and again. Fear fades when you realize it's not about winning today, it's about setting up wins for years to come. And that leads us to step 1, the foundation underneath everything else. Step 1, adopt the fearless identity. This is the step that ties everything together. Top performers don't just use strategies, they adopt an identity. They see themselves as the kind of person who negotiates with confidence, who deserves a seat at the table, who belongs in the conversation. And when you carry that identity, your words, your tone, your body language all follow. Fear doesn't get to drive anymore, identity does. This is why step 1 is the most important of all, because once you see yourself as a fearless negotiator, every other step becomes easier. Now that you know how to negotiate like a boss, let's recap the 10 steps so you don't forget them. Step 10, reframe negotiation as opportunity, not conflict. Step 9, prepare so deeply that fear has no room to live. Step 8, anchor first to set the tone. Step 7, use silence as a weapon. Step 6, always walk in with alternatives. Step 5, tell the story, don't just state the facts. Step 4, turn no into leverage. Step 3, build confidence with small wins. Step 2, play the long game and protect the relationship. Step 1, adopt the fearless identity. Stack these together and you'll notice something shift. Negotiation stops being scary. It starts being exciting. Instead of avoiding those conversations, you'll start seeking them, because you'll know that every negotiation is a chance to move your career, your business, your life forward. And here's the final thought I want you to remember. Top performers aren't fearless because they were born that way. They're fearless because they practiced these steps until they became who they are. Now, if you're serious about accelerating your career and mastering not just negotiation, but every area of professional growth, don't stop here. Click the link below for even more proven strategies to achieve your professional goals. And remember, the last step, adopting the fearless identity, is the one most people skip. But if you embrace it, you'll never fear another negotiation again.